my honor and privilege to bring on Lucas Metropulos.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
All right. Welcome. I am humbled and honored to address you today as a recent recipient of the 2010 USA Weekend Make a Difference Day Award. Over a year ago, I was intrigued by a news conference, which was sponsored by the Points of Light Foundation. The purpose of the nationally televised conference was to encourage volunteerism in America. I intently listened to President George Bush Sr. and President Obama's plea for people to become more involved in their community. Yet, I never imagined that months later, I would be acknowledged for my years of service by the same foundation in Washington, D.C. The extraordinary reception and personal interest I received in Washington from representatives of Newman's Own, the Points of Light Foundation, USA Weekend Magazine, and the Hands-On Network were inspiring and reassuring, knowing there are organizations in our country who enthusiastically support and encourage the philanthropic work of its citizens. My young life has not been without hardship, but it was through my personal hardships that I developed a desire to help others. During my entry into high school, the ravage of Hurricane Francis left the only home that I've ever known unrecognizable and uninhabitable. My family of 8 became transient for 2 years with few possessions until our home was reconstructed. It was during this transitional period that a family in the Bahamas heard about our plight and asked to host us on their family oceanfront farm. It was at Adelaide Farm where I was embraced by 4 brothers who taught me extensive fishing skills and conservation methods to secure fish populations for the future. We fished daily to supply the farm families and provide an income to the farm. Whatever extra fish we had, we gave to the needy in the area. Upon my return to the United States, I realized that I possessed the tools necessary to improve the lives of others. It was then that I embarked on a mission to nourish and empower those less fortunate through a program that I call Fishing for Families in Need. The program is twofold. I conduct 8-week ongoing fishing clinics to the children at the Florence Fuller Child Developmental Center, which services economically disadvantaged children. We meet Tuesday afternoons, and I teach the students how to fish, rig and cast rods, tie fishing knots, and how to become good stewards of the sea. In addition, a conservation class is held at a local nature center where we see the sea life that we need to protect. My students have learned how to better their own lives through making a positive impact on the environment around them. My classes have tripled since their inception 3 years ago. Through generous grants which I was awarded, we ventured on a deep-sea fishing adventure and participated in labs and a tour of the International Fishing Hall of Fame in Dania Beach, Florida. This year, we will also be going to Miami's Aquarium and participating in a first-time snorkeling trip. The final class of each session is hosted at the Deerfield Pier, where my students practice their newly learned skills and reel in their first catches. At the end of each session, I host a graduation dinner at the pier, followed by the distribution of certificates, a new rod, and a new tackle box to each child. Throughout the year, my students are off video games and are enjoying being out in the fresh air. They are communicating, making positive memories, sharing and using their energy in constructive ways. My intention is to teach the children how they may provide food, have a job opportunity, help the environment, learn new skills, and learn to exercise patience and perseverance, which they can incorporate into their daily lives. The positive mentoring comes from many high school students in my area. The declarations and affirmations of, "Yes, I can do it," after reeling in their first catches, has led my students to become more productive and confident. 80% of the children attending the Florence Fuller Child Developmental Center in Boca Raton are from homes where the income level is below the federal poverty level. This is a stark contrast in a community where the majority live at the upper income level. Yet, over 600 of the neediest children in South Palm Beach County are served through this local agency. Although partially subsidized by the government, the center relies on private and corporate support for 52% of their operating expenses. After a weekly fishing clinic, the children are fed a dinner, which is not always guaranteed at home. Realizing an immediate need to nourish the families, I established a second aspect of fishing for families in need, to provide a much-needed fresh protein source to the needy in my community. Fish is a high-protein source and too expensive for those who need it the most. Therefore, I piloted a program to procure fish from area fishing tournaments and donate the cleaned and filleted fish to the Boca Helping Hand Soup Kitchen. My last expedition took us to Key Largo with a U-Haul filled with 20 donated coolers and over 500 pounds of ice. We provided over 300 meals to feed the patrons of the soup kitchen. The patrons and the servers expressed immense gratitude. With tough economic times, more people are in need of meals, and the soup kitchen is in need of support to serve these people. I feed hundreds through the fish donations to satisfy an immediate need, but by teaching a child how to fish, they can provide for themselves and their family for a lifetime. Thus, our motto at FFN is give a man a fish and teach the kids too. Raising the awareness in my community was initially met with skepticism and denial. But now, thanks to media commitments and national recognition of the USA Weekend Make a Difference Day Award, volunteers are eager to participate and acknowledge the needs beyond their own backyards. My unwavering emails and press releases resulted in vast media exposure in 11 TV news coverages, 2 half-hour programs, 3 local newspapers, 6 local and national magazines, and a recent interview with People magazine. On October 24th, 2009, on National Make a Difference Day, I led my students on a first-time drift fishing adventure, which provided thrills, adventure, multiple catches, and endless stories. In the spring of 2010, I was featured on the cover of USA Weekend magazine, which was nationally distributed in 700 carrier papers, where I was announced as one of the 10 recipients of the $10,000 USA Weekend National Make a Difference Day Award, thanks to the generosity of Newman's Own. I could not have individually afforded to make such a sizable contribution to the families I serve, but by receiving this award on their behalf, I was able to equally distribute funds of $5,000 to both organizations. I have been called in the media and within the agency as a hero, but it's the kids and their families who rebound after facing adversity after adversity who are the true heroes. Many of them face family tragedies in Haiti following the devastating earthquake. They have endured insurmountable odds. They are resilient people who find renewed strength to persevere. They have shown me and my volunteers that through perseverance, anything is possible. In my numerous public speeches, and as I stand before you today, I want people to see the positive things that teens are doing in their communities and provide a sense of hope to the older generation regarding their future leaders. I also want teens to know that there is no better feeling than the self-satisfaction and personal fulfillment of helping others. Sharing a hobby while positively having an impact on lives has made for an awesome experience. FFN has brought hope and direction to hundreds of families. As Winston Churchill once said, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. The recent oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico has made me keenly aware that my efforts to teach the future generation how to protect our ecosystem is not enough. Policies must be in place at governmental levels to ensure that the sea's safety and promote its biodiversity. I therefore plan to pursue my interests in marine science and maritime law. As a senior in high school, I am currently applying to known programs at Harvard, Duke, Brown, and the University of Miami. As I continue my path as an agent of change, I encourage all of you to continue your efforts to support Paul Newman's and Newman's Own vision in their efforts to spread philanthropy to better the lives of fellow Americans. Thank you.
guess he went to speech class. I gotta think that if Paul was here, he'd be saying, with a big smile on his face, "Go, man, go." Because it is, you know, we kid around, it isn't just salad dressing. And Paul often said that from salad dressing all blessings flow. And I hope you all can see the rewards of selling Newman's Own in a Lucas Metropolis. It's just great to see somebody thinking they can change the world. So thank you, Lucas, and thanks everybody.